about prioritizing. It's about saying, okay, there are certain times in the day when I can do this, but there are certain times in the day where I simply must switch off and concentrate on the here and now and the people who are with me.
Nice to talk to you, Susie. Thank you for that. Let's speak to Noel Bell, a clinical psychotherapist and an author of a report called How to Digitally Detox and Stay Connected. Noel, good morning to you. Thanks for talking to us.
Good morning, John.
I've got my phone here just to the left of me there. I've got a computer screen in front of me which has the internet and everything that I need to know for the show and emails in front of me. I've got an iPad there next to me as well. It's just impossible to get away, isn't it?
It's certainly all around us. Like has just been said, extent to which there are negative consequences on other aspects of your life.
Okay.
So, particularly in relationships, people can have, and it might sound a little bit odd to say, they have a form of intimacy with their device. Compulsive gamblers have said this, people who are addicted to pornography have said this, and that will impact on the emotional connection with your real relationship.
But why are we like this then? What was the shift? Is it because our partner is boring, or is it the fact that actually being able to talk to somebody on the other side of the world, or even see them now with things like FaceTime, and is a lot more exciting? We need to have that adrenaline rush.
People who are susceptible to addictive processes are more vulnerable to becoming overly involved with technology. So if someone, for instance, is engaging in cybersex, who can possibly compete with the range of options that are on the internet? No spouse can compete with what competition there is on the internet.
So how do we curb this then? Or is it a case that we can't? And with technology, as it gets better, smaller, faster, this problem is only going to get worse.
The question is, how can we put down boundaries around the use of the technology? When we look back in times in history, the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, it took quite a bit of time to understand and to see the impact that the change was bringing. We're living now through an information revolution of some description. We won't probably know the impact of the change that is happening and the boundaries that we need around this technology. For instance, for young kids, they're learning about relationships, sexuality, friendships through the internet now.
Okay.
And the question is, how do we as a society, through schooling, through education, through peers, learn how to have a healthy relationship with the technology? So we can put in boundaries, we can restrict their time on it, we can educate people, particularly children, that not everyone who you think you're speaking to is who they actually are claiming to be.
Absolutely. So it's an educational process that's going to take a bit of time.
It's educational, but it's also providing resources and help for people who are susceptible to addiction, because the internet is 24/7.
It is.
And every form of addiction is open. So there's no boundary of time. When televisions came in first and we start having couch potatoes, it went off at a certain time.
So we're on, for want of a better phrase, we're online potatoes now.
There's a thing called fear of missing out. And this is when you'll get couples sitting next to you in a restaurant where both of them are on the phone. And the question is, what's going on there? Sometimes there's a breaking story, through social media, through breaking news. The question is, if you're sitting on your own in a restaurant, reading the paper or scrolling on your iPad, it's not a problem if it's not a problem. The problem comes when you're supposed to be engaging in conversation with someone, particularly someone nearest and dearest, and you're blanking them out.
It's interesting, isn't it, Because you look at anywhere, you go stand on a train platform, for instance, or just wander around a town, and all you will see is a very large percentage of people still fiddling on with their phones. And I bet you bottom dollar now, if you're on the road listening to this, just have a look as you go past somebody, or if you're sitting at traffic lights, that person will be looking down. Now, we know it's wrong, but they'll still be looking down at their left knee, and you'll think, you've got your phone. You're checking your Facebook, you're checking your Twitter or something like that. It's not right. How do we digitally detox? Noel, thank you very much for talking to us. That's Noel Bell, who's made that report and spokesperson on that report about doing the digital detox. How do you do the digital detox? Have you got any rules in place where you are that, okay, 5 o'clock on a night, like Susie Heyman, we heard from her, the agony, and that's it, no more for the rest of the night? Or is it a case that 2 o'clock this morning you were up, take a look at the Daily Mail website, other newspapers are available, and